The next upgrade I'm going to do the RX-7 is going to be the ignition system. So I wanted to go over some of the options we have from a bolt-on standpoint. Yes, there's a lot of options out there when you run a standalone, but for us bolt-on guys running the stock ECU, there's quite limited options. My typical go-to for these is HKS Twin Power. Unfortunately, they don't make them anymore. You can still get them used if you'd like, and I had a hard time not going with used just because I've had really good results with them in the past. But I wanted to see what options there were still aftermarket that you could get brand new for these things. That brought me to two different choices. This is the stock igniter. Bolts in right here. Rmagic sells this one, which I ended up obtaining through a really good deal through one of the members on RX7 Club. There's another ignition upgrade. We're going to go over the different choices. I was kind of leaning on was the FC Tweak IGN, I believe it's 10XB. Very similar to this, just kind of a bolt-in. There's a few different options. I ended up going to the Rmagic just because there's a user on RX7 Club that PM'd me and said, hey, I have one of these brand new in the box. He was planning on using it. He lost a coil, and he's just ending up going with a whole new different coil system, especially since he's standalone instead of just doing an igniter upgrade. So I traded him some parts I had for the FD. Just had to pay shipping, and it worked out pretty good. So we're going to be able to test this thing out live on the dyno. If you didn't watch the dyno video, the next dyno video we're going to be seeing the difference the auto EX intake makes on the car. So we'll see what kind of power upgrades we got from that. And then while it's still on the dyno, I'm going to install the Rmagic Ignitor and see if we gain anything, if anything. Maybe it cleans up the power band a little bit. That's what I've seen in the past, is usually it'll smooth things out. So it'll be nice to see real world dyno numbers, to see one of these if they actually make any difference. I don't have any experience with the Rmagic Ignitor, so yeah, I'm excited about this one. Hopefully I'll be making it to dyno again soon. I'm waiting for the weather to warm up just a little bit. I don't want it too hot, but I still want the conditions close to what they were with the original dyno. That way our numbers aren't totally skewed. So let's get to comparing all the different ignition options that are available today and see what kind of benefits they might have for the RX-7, what might fit your needs. First up, we have the HKS Twin Power. I originally wasn't going to include this in the video just due to the fact that it is discontinued, but at the time I'm recording this, they are still pretty readily available if you don't mind buying something used. This is really a tried and true ignition amplifier. I've used on many different cars, not just RX-7s, over the years with really good results. Like I said in the intro, this used to be my go-to ignition solution for RX-7s. This works in line with your igniter. It does not replace your igniter. It's just an amplifier. Super easy to install. Interestingly enough, you can still buy the harness for this. So if you find one of these used aftermarket, you can still buy the harness to fit your car. Next up, we have the Cusco ignition voltage capacitor system. This one's not quite plug and play like the HKS Twin Power, but wires up similarly. This is a universal unit. You can order the harness for the FD, but it comes with some extra plugs because that also fits multiple other vehicles. I don't have any personal experience with this unit, but according to the reviews, they're kind of hit or miss. Some people say they seem to see a difference, but nothing compared to what you would find with HKS Twin Power reviews. This next one I had not heard of until I started doing research on available ignition products for the RX-7 these days. Okada plasma booster. This looks like it works similarly to the HKS Twin Power and the Cusco system. Reading reviews on it through RX7 Club and a few other forums, I have not seen a single good review on this, unfortunately. You can do your own searching. I found several reviews where people were stating lots of ignition breakup after installation of this unit. This could be possibly due to a installation failure. I'm not a fan of the way these things install according to the documentation from Okada. You can see from this chart, you're supposed to tap the coil wires. So when people do this with cheap taps or these little clips, often you can cut the actual wire, reducing the gauge of the wire and overall reducing the amperage allowance through the wire. Proper way to install this, I believe, would be to cut the wire, then solder this unit in line with this so you have good clean connections rather than just these splices that can cause some issues. This one looks like it'll run you around $250 based on a few sites I found. This next one is the one I ended up going with for my car, partially due to convenience, but this is also one of the top ones I was looking at for an ignition upgrade for my car. I'm trying to show people what you can do with essentially bolt-ons for our FD RX7s, and this is quite literally a bolt-on ignition upgrade. This is not like the HKS Twin Power or the other ones we've looked at so far. This one directly replaces the igniter and is less than a 5-minute install. 2 bolts, 1 plug, and you're up and running again. This is another one where I haven't seen too many reviews. I have not seen any bad reviews on this, but I guess I'm going to be one of the first ones I know of to use this and actually test its claims on the dyno. Depending on how my dyno goes and the results I get from the Rmagic Ignitor, this is something I'll look into upgrading in the future. Rmagic offers a whole ignition system kit with brand new coils, harness, and the igniter. But if I get good results, there's no reason for me not to go with their coils in true bolt-on nature of my mods for this car. This kit looks like it sets you back around $1,400. I've seen ranges, just under $1,400 to $1,500 depending on which site you're looking at. Another thing Rmagic offers, which is something I'm probably going to do in the future, is a upgraded coil pack harness. If you know our cars, our coil harness can get real crunchy and deteriorate over time. You can get a replacement, just a stock replacement, but this one is an upgraded replacement. It comes with its own relay. You hook up to battery power. That way you get a steady battery voltage to the coil and you don't have to rely on the 30-year-old circuitry within your car. I found these run around $250. This next one was also one of my top contenders along with the Rmagic, which is another replacement igniter. This one is made by FC Tweak. If you don't know who that is, they've done amazing things with the Power FC lately, and it's really pushing me towards thinking about going back to the Power FC rather than a Haltech system due to the upgrades they've done. This one, again, is just a bolt-in unit, less than 5-minute install. What ultimately pushed me away from using this one versus the Rmagic, along with being able to get the Rmagic at an extremely cheap price with just trading parts, was this comment by FC Tweak, which states that it's only got a 20% upgrade with just the stock ECU, which I'm planning on running for a little bit. The benefits of using this one over the Rmagic was you can actually change the dwell within Power FC to utilize this much more and get the 80%. Rmagic, as you saw, claims over 80% increase as well, but that should be with the stock computer. So since I still have a few more mods to go before I go with the standalone like a Power FC or Haltech, I'm sticking with the Rmagic to see how well that works. But reading the reviews I found online through various forums and Facebook, this new FC Tweak Ignitor is a top contender for replacement igniter. This next choice is offered by Sakebomb Garage. There are a few different variations of the IG1A coils. These ones in particular are the Marine Smart coils by AEM. From the research I've done on these, I would not recommend these for somebody running a stock ECU. From the reviews I've found, the stock ECU dwell times don't really work well with this coil setup, even though they will plug and play and run with the factory ECU. It's been reported that they can overheat the coils, and they're also very sensitive to grounding. So you have to follow the installation instructions to a T, and I've even read some conflicting information on where to ground these, whether the block or a chassis ground. Everybody has a different opinion on this, and some say it works better following documentation. Some tuners say it doesn't, follow their direction. So these ones definitely need to do a lot of research on. I do know they can be good and have a lot of power output, but if you're looking for another bolt-on, this will work with stock ECU, but I would tend to shy away and go with one of the other options personally, but I just wanted to put this out there as an option to let you know it is there. So those are all the basic ignition upgrades I could find that are still readily available, aside from the HKS Twin Powers I noted. This is not including plug wires and whatnot. That's a whole different topic that you can go down. But these are just the basic ignition upgrades I wanted to concentrate on. Somebody doing like BPU modifications like I am, just bolt-ons that'll work with the stock ECU. There are plenty of other ignition solutions, a lot of different variants of the IG1A coils like I mentioned that'll work with standalones. But if you're not planning on going to standalone, I'm just trying to educate people on what's available there for our bolt-ons. hopefully in the near future I'll get another dyno video up to test this Rmagic Ignitor. I'm excited for that. If I missed any igniters or any ignition solutions that you guys know about that I don't, please post in the comments, and I can probably do a follow-up video checking those out. If anybody has a FC tweak igniter that they may want to try on the dyno and is willing to let me borrow it, that would be great, because that's something we can just do back-to-back on the dyno. We can do a dyno run with just the intake, which I'm planning, and then a dyno run with the Rmagic Ignitor, and then a dyno run with the FC tweak igniter, because it's just bolt-on plug-and-play. So it would be kind of cool to see a comparison of the two ignitors back-to-back. So if anybody knows FC tweak personally, or if anybody has one laying around and they want to donate it and I'll ship it back to you, that would be a pretty cool comparison to see on the dyno, see if there's any difference. And there may or may not be based on a stock car, because any better spark than what we're getting now may clean up the power band, and we might see identical results, or maybe one actually makes things worse. There's only one way to test that.